Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wimpy Studio. Today I'm going to be recapping and reviewing Fuller House Season 5, Episode 10, and it is called If the Suit Fits. So, yeah, Fuller House Season 5 B just dropped yesterday, so I'm here reviewing the first episode of Fuller House, yeah, Season 5B. So let's get into it. Okay, so first, a special announcement. Okay, so I will be reviewing every episode of Fuller House Season B, one each week on Thursdays. So that's my plan. Pretty much, um, I want to get through all the episodes, but because it feels like that there is so much that happened, or like very important things that happened in all the episodes, and I was not going to cram it all together. So each week on Thursday, stay tuned at 1 p.m. EST for a brand new Fuller House review. It will take the place of Disney Plus Spark Shorts. Those will be delayed for August, because in August I'll have a lot of brand new things. So I'm going to talk about some overall thoughts of the episode. So. First of all, Joey threw a triple engagement party for the three couples. So, yeah, a guest star was Joey in this episode of Fuller House, and I always like it when guest stars arrive because we got to see a good amount of episode. We got to see a good amount of episodes with all three of them. Um, I felt like it was important. Of course, Aunt Becca can't be there because of the world stuff, and we knew that Michelle wasn't going to be there. But like, it's still kind of upsetting. The like of course, you can do it. I feel like Michelle would be a little bit easier considering Aunt Becky is like it wouldn't make sense to cast a new actor just for one episode, But like for Michelle, it would be a little bit easier. But then again, it's still really hard considering like they don't want to come back to the show, and I really wanted it to happen that way, but it's not going to. She's not coming. Well, now she can't come back. I mean, there's my there might be a fullest house. I have no idea. I mean, people are talking about it, and honestly, I feel like that. Um, I feel like that we've seen Steve and DJ so much. They've gone through so much that I'm not sure if we need to see. I think it might. I don't think that we need to see the aftermath. I mean, I feel like that it was perfect how the season ended. But let's just go ahead and talk about this episode overall. So yeah, pretty much Joey threw a triple engagement party for the three couples. So the status for each couple is pretty much DJ and Steve are in a good place. All three couples are in a good place. This episode definitely revolved around DJ and Kimmy, as well as like the supporting characters. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And Stephanie didn't have the biggest role, but she does have a pretty centric role in the Thanksgiving episode. That's episode 12, which I'll get to in a couple weeks. So pretty much, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Tommy Senior. So we don't know that much about him. Died in a forest fire. He was a firefighter. We don't know much about him. We got some references in season 1. And we saw a videotape of him in season 4, and Max was hurting. So this was brought back up this episode, and we also got to see like more like I guess like Full House vibe things. I think. In just this episode, we got to see like what the Tommy Senior thing I guess was the biggest one, the biggest reference in this episode, like the biggest throwback. And I think it did cause Steve and Jackson to connect, and I really liked how they were able to connect in this way. I felt like I don't know I felt like there's definitely a good connection between them. I feel like it's just something that they have to explore. Because it felt like when DJ and Matt were dating, I felt like Matt kind of bonded with like the kids a little bit more than Steve did. Now Steve is starting to come around because, in the next episode he bonds with Max. I'll talk about that next week. But this is episode he bonded with Jackson. Then he did driving lessons with Jackson last season, but Matt had to come along. I feel like Jackson, well, and the actor said that he is a fan of DJ and Matt, but I feel like they've explored Steve and DJ so much, and Matt and DJ were cute too. But like, I felt like it was good to explore. But Steve and DJ for the win. I felt like it was the best scenario. And now I guess Steve's weakness is connecting with the kids. Um, and Matt was like, I guess Matt was like pretty more laid back, a likable character. Everyone liked him, and Steve was a little bit more. I mean, he was funny, but like it was kind of hard to get to know him. Is the right way to say it. So I guess that's kind of my opinion on that matter. But I think Steven Jackson. I really did enjoy how they were able to make a good connection in this episode. I felt like it was perfect. Like it was really perfect to see the two connecting and having fun, and I really wish that we got to see that with other characters. And I'll talk about the Kimmy and Joey moment in a second. So first of all, so Kimmy's parents were supposed to come, and in a way, I was kind of disappointed that we did not get to meet them. I felt like they could have introduced them. I mean, I felt like maybe they would have come to the wedding, and that would have been something for like maybe Kimmy's like parents come to the wedding, and she goes into shock. But like, you know, I. I was kind of disappointed in how they didn't show them at all. Like, they teased it, and I actually really wanted to see Kimmy Gibbler's parents by the end. I mean, we saw Fernando's mom, and I was like, okay, now they just have to introduce Kimmy's parents, and it also would have been something big for Jimmy too. And I was just disappointed. I felt like it was like writing that like just didn't they didn't explore it. It's not lousy. It's not lousy writing. It's like getting your fans' hopes up too much and introducing something. And maybe it was fine if they couldn't come to the first time, but at least have like something else. At least have like even if it's on video chat. There should be something to introduce Kimmy's parents, and instead we got nothing. I was just really disappointed in how that was written for Kimmy's parents, especially throughout the rest of the season. In this episode, so like pretty much they didn't come, and in a way I was kind of like they're not going to come. I mean, and I felt like Jimmy said that he had a feeling, but Kimmy was more like she always is. I felt like Kimmy is like definitely interesting, but it feels like she's such a joyful character, and she's always so positive, and I felt like I almost feel like I'll talk about like this like later on in the season. I want to see more. I want to see more of Kimmy and Jimmy scenes. I mean, we saw them have like a little skit in like the Thanksgiving episode, but besides that, we don't really see them bonding as right what is it because they're always with their significant others, or it's DJ, Stephanie, and Kimmy all together. I want to see more of that. I mean, if of course I can't see it now, but like I really would want to see that bonding between Jimmy and Kimmy, get to know more of their backstory, and I would definitely think if they introduced the parents, we would have saw that. I was just really disappointed on how not introducing the parents actually cut back a lot of things on the storyline because I feel like it would have been cool to see their parents. We could have seen that connection with all of them, the Gibbler family. Okay, so I want to talk about that Kimmy and Joey moment for a second. So pretty much, Kimmy's parents were supposed to come, and Joey was the one in charge of that. He was like who invited them as a special guest. And so Kimmy and Joey had this amazing moment, and he asked to walk her down the aisle, and Joey did admit that he didn't have the best family life, and I think in Full House his parents are divorced. We got to meet his dad, I think, and you know what? I was kind of I don't know, but as far as like the Kimmy and Joey connection goes, I really think that they have would definitely have a good connection in this kind of sense because I always thought of like when the kids match up to their parents now or like match up to someone, it would be DJ to Danny, Stephanie to Uncle Jesse, and Kimmy to Joey. And I was like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see the Kimmy and Joey thing. And we finally got to see it. I was just kind of disappointed that it took them 5 seasons to finally explore that connection because I thought that they had a lot in common. They're both like goofy and like I don't know. They're just fun to be around. The type of friend that you'll want to have, like weird. Um, I'm kind of disappointed that it took them so long to explore that. But in the end, I'm so glad that they did this now because um I was kind of disappointed because Kimmy was like, "I'm gonna ask my father to walk me down the aisle," and you gotta feel bad for her when that didn't happen, and if, it would almost feel like I'm kind of glad that like the parents didn't come back in that sense. If Joey didn't ask her, I would have wanted the parents to come. But since Joey did ask her, I really have I'm so kind of confused on this whole thing with like Kimmy's parents and like why were they not able to come? I mean, they're world travelers. That's all we know. But I really want to see. how do I say this? I really wanted to see like just I felt like there was like so much to explore with like Kimmy's backstory that we didn't really get to see in the original series. She mentioned that she has a brother named Garth, and she has three sisters. But it feels like besides Jimmy, we hardly know anything about Kimmy's backstory. Besides their parents are travelers, and even that, we don't really get to see Kimmy and Jimmy moments, and we get to see them have fun. But I really wish that we got to see more of Kimmy's backstory. I felt like she's a cool character, but I feel like they revealed a lot of like family information in Full House that they never explored at all there or in Fuller House, and then they introduced Jimmy, like completely random. I thought, and I don't know. I just thought it was completely random, and how they didn't show Jimmy at all, like throughout the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm definitely like I'm ranting here about this. So let's go ahead and move on to the episode awards. So I'm introducing something new. For all of my things, I'm going to be introducing a episode awards thing. So that is going to be for well, maybe at least for Fuller House. I might try it out for that first. But so my favorite moment, I really liked the how this episode in particular we got to see connections with different people. So like Steven Jackson and Kimmy and Joey, we got to see those connections with each other. And I really enjoyed. I think that they definitely have a good bond with one another, and I'm glad that they explore that this episode. I felt like and I'll talk about like Jackson being smitten in a second once I get to the most shocking moment. So my favorite characters have to be all of them. So there was no a character I didn't like. I wasn't the biggest fan. Well, no, Kimmy's parents would be my not biggest fan because they didn't even show up to like the thing, and I'm still disappointed about that they didn't even explore, didn't even do a FaceTime call at the wedding, like right before the wedding. I was kind of disappointed in the writing there. They didn't even like they tried to explore it, but they just didn't. It just didn't work, you know, and that's fine. Like I guess it's okay. I'm just disappointed in how it all came about. So the most shocking moment, I'll talk about this for a little bit. So when Jackson tells his mom off, it's okay, mom, you have to make room for Steve's suit. So pretty much, DJ finds Tommy Sr., which is Jackson's dad, a suit in her room, and pretty much he comes in, and Steve's also there too. I felt like it was like a really awkward scene. You can kind of tell how Steve felt bad, and Jackson was like kind of like getting frustrated with his mom because she was like planning on giving the suit away, and then Jackson's like, when DJ tries to talk to him, like explain, Jackson's like, "It's okay, mom. You have to make room for Steve's suit." And I was like, you know what? Like, I get that like, you're angry, but that was like, that's not something that you really. It's just that's not the right thing to say. Definitely not. I mean, I thought I was like, oh, it's okay, mom. You have to make room for Steve's suit. I'm just kind of thinking about. I'm just trying to think about that for a second. Like, what? I do not understand, honestly. I felt like there's like so much other stuff that happened, but I definitely when Jackson's attitude came about and he said that line, that was definitely a most shocking moment for me. And my overall grade, I have to give it an A+. Overall, I really, really, really like this episode. It's a definitely good mid-season opener or premiere, whatever you call it. So pretty much just by this first episode of Fuller House season 5B, it was great. I really liked the triple engagement party. We got to see scenes between the couples and character interactions between Kimmy and Joey and Steven Jackson, and we got to see and the whole Kimmy's parents thing and how she was dealing with that. Honestly, I enjoyed everything that happened in this episode. So pretty much stay tuned next week when I do my review over Fuller House Season 5, Episode 11. And next episode's a really good one, too, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching the Whoopi Studio. So comment down below if you watch Fuller House, your feelings about this episode in particular. Please don't comment things about later episodes, because just wait until then. This is just will be a summer thing, one episode each week. So yeah, pretty much, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload. Let's get to 100 subscribers. We are at 93 currently, so yeah. Thanks everyone for watching Whoopi Studio. Stay tuned for more videos to come. Thanks everyone for watching, and bye.